guys, it's Raging Rhino. Second video. I've got my boys here with me. Gonna help me out. This is Gabe. This is Wesley Dawn, named after my dad and my grandpa, so we call him Dubs. And as you can see, they got some of my curls. I just wanted to say hi, introduce myself as a real person. My other two kids are older, so at school right now, so I am father of 4. Doing the YouTube channel I've always wanted to do, and I finally found a game that really gets me excited, and I really enjoy playing it, so I hope you guys enjoy this next video. Go look at this light. Talk the Olaf here for a minute. How's it going? And now summon the new overlay, right? Okay. Just kidding around. Having some fun playing Blackfeather. I really enjoy him. I think he's got a lot of escapability, which I really enjoy. If you watch my first video, I talked about that quite a bit. I do like his abilities to maneuver around the gauntlet, you know, getting out of several different ultimates, like Jewel in this video you'll see. I kind of sashay around her quite a bit to try to escape. In this video, I'm playing on my first account on VainGlory from the beta, right? And I am also playing with my wife, who is the Celeste on this team. This account is set up to my guild, which is the Black Sheep. Shout out to Warpath. Thanks a lot for all the guild play. Really appreciate it. Had a lot of fun. Got to the top level, 99, right? And hopefully we'll do it again. And had a lot of fun with the guild. Helps to team up, you know, and grow everything. I think in this video, one of the biggest things, obviously my wife and I can communicate. She's sitting on the couch, right? And I'm sitting right beside her, so I can look at her screen, I can get some vision, I can tell her what I'm doing. The Catherine in the video, we have no way to know what the mindset is. I think a big problem with our mid-game, kind of our mid to late middle game area, this is a pretty long game, but the fact of the matter, our support player, Catherine, she didn't get a fountain. And I understand there's other support items which they spent the money on. But when you're playing support, it's really important, and I understand as Catherine, you want to get your cooldowns quicker. You want to, you know, try to, you know, get the shield work going for you. And a lot of times you'll want to go straight for an aftershock or a clockwork or something like that, which I totally understand. But when you're playing support, you know, go ahead and rush that storm guard, you know, for the extra true damage, and then get your aftershock, get your clockwork if that's what, you know, you really want to do. But for the mid-game area, rush that fountain right after you get a damage item, like an aftershock or a clockwork, you know, for her. And that goes for all support. I mean, if I play Fortress, for instance, I'm gonna get that Storm Guard. I'm gonna go straight for a fountain with him, and then I might get a broken myth or a breaking point, depending on the other players' builds. You know, they might be going crystal and I'm going to go weapon, or they may be going crystal and I'll just go double crystal sometimes. But it also depends on the other jungle player. You know, if I'm playing support, I want to match them. If they're going weapons, I'll go crystal, that kind of thing. So in this game, we're going to talk about defense versus damage. We're going to talk about the dynamics. When should I buy defense? When do I need to buy more damage? And it goes along the lines of the first tip that I got from some VainGlory's players, and that is, if you're winning the game, you know, buy more damage, and if you're losing, go ahead and get more defense. And you have to kind of work it as a chess match per se, on when do I buy that, and when do I get more damage, when do I, you know, see that I've got to get more defense. And we'll look at that as this game goes on. I'm focusing on getting my breaking point. I'm focusing on, you know, building up my own damage, trying to farm. I get into this team fight here, and I tried to just get some damage and get out. I got caught a little bit, but I feel like when you're playing Blackfeather, you're a melee character, you're close to the enemies, so it's hard to use your escape before level 6. You can't really get away. The only way that you can really, you know, get out of a fight is if you get close enough to a minion and you use your first ability to run over and try to get, you know, away from the enemy, which you'd have to run, you know, from the lane all the way, you know, to your first regen minion there, which is possible. It just depends on, you know, your maneuverability. If you have boots ready or if they're on cooldown, you're not going to be able to get there as quickly. I'm trying to kind of wait around here to see if, you know, they're going to fight some more, to see if I can maybe heal up a little bit with some minions, let her go shop. And I'm just trying to protect the lane. I'm just trying to freeze it up a little bit, make sure that that jewel is getting the least amount of minions that she can, while also protecting against our turret being damaged. So these are important dynamics to really get the concept of, because it'll help your play experience. And I feel like there's a lot of people that don't give this game much of a chance because, you know, they don't want to have to know a lot about a game to play. And I understand that you're a casual player or whatever, you see this game and you're like, man, these graphics are really cool, the abilities are really cool, and you give it a shot, and the first game you might just get completely destroyed. And then you say, oh, I'm not going to play that anymore, or maybe the first couple of games you're not really sure what's happening. So my channel is really to enhance that game experience for you and help you guys to figure out, what do I need to build, why, and what is the enemy doing to destroy me early on. And as you can see there, I got trapped in her beam, and I'm in the gauntlet too, so I couldn't really escape. And I'm just trying to keep my distance and also jump in and do some damage and try to get out. I got some extra boots there so I can, you know, have a little bit more mobility. I feel like throughout this game, Catherine, I'm not really sure if she wasn't confident in her character abilities or what was happening, but there were a few times when I felt like she was being a lot more conservative than she needed to be, or she wasn't really, you know, able to use the abilities that I thought were on cooldown. I completely get destroyed by the turret there. I have no idea why Catherine wasn't hitting the turret to try to take some of the damage off of me, but you know, this is the kind of stuff that happens in the game, and I wanted to show it on my channel, let you guys know what do I do, what is the point. And I died right there just out of sheer, you know, position. I wasn't able to get away. I could have used my boots and just ran as fast as I could and get outside of the proximity of the turret shots. But I felt like if I did that, then I wouldn't have my boots for the next engagement if I needed to escape. So a lot of times, I use the boots to get to the enemy or get away from the enemy, and I try not to waste it in any time. I mean, it's very important. As I said in the first video, you want to really get your focusing correct, your positioning correct, and your skills of using your abilities and getting everything in line together. And as you can see right there, we were able to split Arden away from his team and really capitalize on killing Koshka and then taking him out. So these are good things to get into your mind, forethought, and really help you have a better experience at the game. Now right here, you see me, I'm just diving for Jewel because I know that I could kill her, but at the same time, I'm not sure why Catherine wasn't with me in doing that. I know that Koshka was coming, but if she would have been able to stun, maybe the stun wasn't up, I don't know. But if she would have stunned right there, I could have killed Jewel and possibly escaped from Koshka. Looking at her build, maybe she just didn't have the cooldowns and didn't have the availability of her stun, but nevertheless, we keep on playing, man. I think a big part of this game is don't give up. Don't quit on the game. Especially don't go AFK. It's one of my biggest pet peeves in this game. It just ruins the game. There's so many people that go AFK at the 15-minute mark if the enemy gets the Kraken. I mean, are you kidding me? We have come back so many times from games where they've gotten all the gold payouts, they've gotten the Kraken twice, and we've still come back and won. Games where only the crystals are left, and we've won. So don't give up. Sharpen your skills. Take some of these tips. Take some knowledge about the game, and if you're really serious about it, you'll take these to heart and use them in the game to make a better play experience. And that's all I'm here for. I really want more people to play the game so we can, have more fun and make it a lot more popular than it already is. You saw that fight. I got stunned. I make some risky moves. I do, because Blackfeather's strong. I mean, he's a pretty strong character, but you've got to kind of see exactly what you need to do to escape. Do your damage, but also in the forefront of your mind, think about what you're going to do to escape and why and how. Okay. In that play, I did all the damage I could. My abilities were gone. I mean, I couldn't get away. But at the same time, I dealt a lot of damage, and as you can see right here, Jewel is really kicking out some damage. So why do you buy defense? Okay. And mainly the reason you want to buy defense is because it's cheaper than damage, okay? And I know people don't really understand that. Well, if they have more damage than me, then there's really nothing I can do on my defensive scope to combat it. But the fact of the matter is that the game made it cheaper so that you can combat that and get more defense and really see a big difference in each fight, because the armor is against weapons, okay? And so, like, say you have a Cruel and he's got a breaking point, or Tornado Trigger or something like that. You want to get an Atlas to slow him down. But you're like, Rhino, the other guy on the team that's dealing a lot of damage, they're building Crystal. What do I do? I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going to have to get defense against both. And what you want to do is get defense in a way that will be the most efficient. So if you've got a Kroll and he's building weapons and you have somebody that's building Crystal, go for a Crucible and get as much health as you can, okay? And also build an Atlas to slow him down. And you can even go with an Aegis if you've got a character that has a lot of crystal damage. So if you're buying a Crucible and an Aegis, that gives you 2 reflex block protections in each fight. And so I just lost that fight. So I'm getting a reflex block right now so I can get through the gauntlet. I can try to defend against Jules' beam and also against Koshka's stun. Now I'm not going to be able to do that, for all 3 of them, but it will give me some kind of protection in the midst of a melee character fighting 3 enemies. So right here I'm trying to go down. I'm going to try to use my ability and gank the Kraken. It didn't work. But I am able to deal a lot of damage. My reflex block there, it didn't protect me against the stun. So I lost that battle. But you've got to be aware of why you're buying the defense. And that's not to say every single time you buy defense first or every single time you buy damage first. There's a point in the game where you can see, okay, I'm not winning very many fights here. That's when you need to buy some defense to combat that damage. And in this video, I subject the video defense against damage or damage against defense because Jewel doesn't buy any defense, and we're going to examine what happens when you don't do that. And there's been so many games that I could go over where the enemy didn't buy anything defensive wise, and so we were able to win. And I want to talk about why we were able to win. The reason is, okay, if you don't buy defense and the other team does, basically, as you'll see in this video, the amount of damage that I am able to deal is overbearing the amount of health points that person has in their character base. So they're not able to withstand the amount of damage that I deal. So what you want to do is you want to build your damage, which I've done. I got my breaking point, got my serpent mask, and I just picked up my monocle to give me more crit. Now I'm getting an Aegis so that I can combat that Jewel, get through the gauntlet, and hopefully get out of the stun. So look for that pivotal moment in the game where you need to buy defense. And that's when, you get melted, okay, by Jules' beam, or you get melted by any one of the character's abilities, and you don't know why, okay? The reason why, you don't have enough health points to overcome the damage dealt. And there's a lot of characters in the game that have a lot of health. I mean, Arden in the game, Finn. Kroll is able to regen, so he, as far as health goes, typically I would go ahead and buy an Atlas with him to combat any weapons that are around. to try to slow them down, because for each character you want to take their special abilities and their perks, and you want to capitalize on those. You know, Ringo has his crit after he kills anything. Taka, you know, he has the stacks on his crit after he kills something. He gets movement speed. You know, just anything like that, any of the perks, you want to capitalize on those. Kroll has the speed boost in the bushes. You want to pair that with attack speed, because it slows the enemy down by 40%. So the slower that they are, and if you use your Atlas, it's going to slow them down even more. And so you want to capitalize on your attack speed to combat that, and you'll overcome your enemy. This video is a great example of just not giving up. And I'm always checking my builds. I'm trying to see what are they building and how can I build something to combat the enemy in each one of these team fights. Sometimes I don't win them. You know, I get too close. I can't deal enough damage. I get stunned in the middle. I mean, that happens with melee characters quite a bit, because and I like range a lot, but I mean, I love all the characters. I play a lot of them, so I feel like when you're dealing damage in a melee, you need your range character to stay back and really deal as much damage as they can while you're in the middle of a fist fight. I mean, it's pretty much like a fist fight, because you got to get right up on them. When you're, you know, Kroll, and sometimes even Blackfeather, I'll get a Shiver Steel, you know, and I'll slow them down and make them stick to me. But I try not to get in the middle of all three of them like that last fight. That was horrible. I didn't mean to go all the way, you know, to the other side of the whole team. Right there, we were going for the Kraken. Jewel took it. You know, it's looking grim. And I'm really posting this video for people that get frustrated with the game, that they're tired of losing, they don't understand why they get melted. Well, there's an example right there of damage versus defense, okay? They dealt all their damage, they did all their abilities, and because I had an Aegis and a Fountain, I was able to overcome the output of damage that they dealt by using my abilities, all of the perk advantages, and killing the whole team. So, you know, the amount of output that we had in damage, plus the amount of defense that we had to combat their damage, won us the fight. And I guess I don't want people to not play the game because they can't figure all this stuff out. You really can. It's not too much to really do. It's just learning small things. I mean, the stutter stepping is a huge part of the game, that you can increase your attack speed by 60% just by stutter stepping, which I talked about in the first video. That will open up, you know, more fun for you in the game, but also learning how to build according to what these other players have. You know, read the stats in the shop and see, okay, they are building a breaking point. I need to slow them down, and also need to keep some distance, because the breaking point builds stacks, and you want to get away from them so that the stacks will stop. Okay, and that's why Kroll is so effective if he has an Atlas, a Shiver Steel, and a breaking point. Those three things are a very deadly combination with Troll, because he stacks, he can deal his damage, and you can't get away from him because he slowed you down. Maybe he jumped out of the bushes, so you're slowed by 40% already. Then he puts an Atlas on you, and you're slowed even more. Your attack speed is nothing, and you got a Shiver Steel on you, so you can't even move. You can barely move. The guy will wreck you in that way. And this game, I know it's a long video, it's a long game, and there's a few times where, I mean, right there, I hit my ability to escape, and also hit my fountain. Neither one of those worked, but I know that can be frustrating too. But you just have to stick with it, okay? Don't get frustrated at the game because of these dynamics. All you have to do is sharpen your skills and move forward. These guys that play this game professionally, they just don't give up. And you can see in this video where it pays off. Stick to the strategies, stick to your positioning, and really look at it like a chess match. When you're overextended, it's kind of like in chess where your queen is exposed, okay? If you're overextending, that gives you a position to be attacked. And this is a prime example right now. They were completely overextended into our base, trying to take our turrets down, and they weren't paying attention to the scoreboard that showed I was coming up in a few seconds, and they weren't thinking about the fact that the amount of damage that I can do will really kill them because of the amount of health that they had at that moment. So we're going to go further crack, and we're going to try to see if we can win this. I saw Koshka up in the lane there, and I went ahead and said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and try for an ace, give us a little buff, and see what I can do. So I went ahead and finished her off, got the ace. My wife and the Catherine there are taking the Kraken. I'm going to go ahead and get this minion mine. That gives the Kraken some more power, okay? Little tips like this that help you to snowball the game to have a lot more fun, which is what we're all about. And I want to really make it to where you guys can pick up some tips and tricks and enjoy playing the game a lot more. So right here, we got the Kraken. I'm gonna go ahead and double infuse, try to get as much damage output as I possibly can. And I tell you, man, when you get the monocle on this build, you've got the breaking point, the serpent mask, and a monocle, man, you're building crit stacks very quickly. I tried to start my stacks right there with my second ability, and for some reason it didn't work. But I'm using my reflex block as I can to get out of those stuns. And once again, they're overextended and they're away from their cover, okay? The turrets are going to be your cover, and when you get outside of those cover areas, we can take advantage and take your queen. So right here, I'm not sure what happened to Catherine, but we're taking the crystal all by myself. So hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Oh yeah, there was one more thing. Now I remember. Don't AFK ever. See ya.